what I want to do is I'm just going to briefly show you 6 recent projects. They're lighting design projects largely. And I'm going to focus on how we work custom with our clients. And our clients are typically interior designers and architects, sometimes homeowners. And we'll just talk briefly about the kind of design briefs that come to us and how they evolve through evolution, iteration, and collaboration with our clients. So starting with the first image here, this is my partner Nick with one of our most recent lights. This is the Years light. And we were approached by an interior designer whose client had a beautiful waterfront property south of Bella Coola. And their home was being designed by Olsen Kundig, who are a great Seattle firm, which was exciting for us. And the client had a particular idea for a light in one particular space in the house. The design brief was, it needs to be conical, and it must be black on the outside. and then we scratch our heads and say, okay, what can we bring to that design brief? So thinking about looking at Olsen Kundig's work, thinking about the property in the West Coast and wishing we could go up there and visit it, but of course we couldn't. We landed on the idea of taking the growth rings of a tree as a kind of information set to build the form of the light out of. Let's see. So we asked the designer to photograph tree stumps on the property, and this is the one we settled on. And from this, we created these 2 lights. So each ring became a layer, and the layers were stacked up on top of each other. And then when you're underneath and you look into the light, you can see the rings. We partnered up with IDS West in May and went to New York for Design Week with IDS West. We show these 2 lights there. These are the next generation, 2 different stumps. You can tell by looking at the profiles that we're working from different trees here. So then you get a sense, again, of the interior of these ones. Moving on, this project was with Office McFarlane Bigger Architects here in Vancouver, and they were looking for kind of an art piece, screen, sculptural element for a presentation center for a residential building they were working on, and they came to us with a number of different potential starting points, and through a lot of iteration and collaboration back and forth with their design team, we all landed on using this kind of repeating rectilinear form, which is an architectural detail on the exterior of the building as kind of the starting block for the design. And this is the space here, and OMB's created this very stark but beautiful space that this piece became kind of the focal point of. You're doing great. Thank you, Kate.
I'm like, I don't know where to go.
You're doing one more view of it there. And here's some pieces in the studio that are just being finished. And then this light up above here, it's our Ori light that we were working on at the same time as this project. And we launched it at Kate Duncan's address, which you'll probably hear about later if you haven't been. And the architect, Heather Howard from Battersby Howitt, saw it there and asked sometime later a project came along, and she asked us to collaborate with her on reimagining the light for the space that she was working on. So that's another view of it at address. So this is my partner Pam in the Battersby Howitt space. What Heather's asked us for is, well, can we change the shape a little bit, and can we take it away from that really tight symmetry and go for something a little more organic? It's what she needed in the space. And we were really fortunate to get into this house as it was being built. We're all kind of architecture nerds, so getting into a place like that and seeing the way the light comes through the windows and through the skylights and the bones of the house, some of them are exposed still at that point, and the materials palette's starting to come together. It's really educational for us. people that are designing things to go in these architectures. So here's a picture. This is an image of the piece that we finally made in the living room the dining room. And this is just an exceptional house. And I think, Annika, I believe you're publishing this house in April?
In April, yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And I put this one in more because of that little Zen garden there than anything else, but so good. Okay, so another home that you might have seen before. This is Campos Lecky, Javier Campos, who won Designer of Architect of the Year last year.
Yeah.
Javier invited us to come and see this house when it was nearing completion as well. And what Javier was looking for was some work for these upper vaulted areas. And his design brief was very simple. It was just come spend a little bit of time here, and then what he was looking for is a light that gives a general ambient light, but importantly, it was an uplight that would light the vaulted architecture that he and his partner had created. This is our solution. And in Javier's house, we actually used two of these, sort of one below the other, going down the corridor. And this has become a product for us. And here, I think we're looking at it in ash, but we also do them regularly in walnut and white oak and cherry. And different configurations too. There's detail. Okay, another amazing architect in our city, Michael Green, and this, I believe, is the first passive house in Canada. It's over on the North Shore, and Michael Green Architects designed it, and SMD interior designers were responsible for the interior design. We didn't get to work with either of those firms, unfortunately, because we came into the project late, which sometimes happens for lighting. In this case, our client was the homeowner, and but they were really super into it, design savvy people that completely understood the project and knew what they wanted. And their brief was, they really liked one of our lights, the cumulus light, which is kind of a cloud-shaped light, but it's composed of hundreds of leaves of resin that hang in a sort of more organic, random way. And what the clients wanted was for us to distill that energy down into a way more minimal and geometric configuration. And again, we were fortunate to get into the house before it was done and get a look at details like the way the skylights work and the details of the way they're the paneling on the wall with these strong vertical and horizontal elements, but everything very white. So that was our response to their brief. And here you can see beautiful table and cabinetry by Christian Wu. And the clients have a wonderful art collection too. So I think MGA created this very clean, crazy clean, minimal house, but with kind of a scale to the proportions of the place that are so human. And then on top of that, the furniture and the art comes into the place, and it was just really a very warm interior. And we were also asked to just design a couple of pendant lights to go beside the bedside table. We used raw birch bark and just a waxed linen cord to sew them up. One more project. Vancouver's ice cream moguls, Ernest Ice Cream. My partner Pam has a serious salted caramel addiction that we were able to fund through this project. Jenks Design here in Vancouver has designed, I think, all of their stores at this point, I think. So they came to us interested in our mica light, which is this configuration here, or this light, but they wanted a different configuration. They had a long seating area, and they wanted to use this piece as a bit of a canopy to go over top of the seating area. And they also wanted it in Douglas fir, which we hadn't done before, but worked out nicely. Romney Shipway's cool little stools down there in Doug fir. There's detail. And the last one. Thank you.
Thanks very much.